Welcome to Showing Up Solo with Hannah and Nicole, your guides to navigating online marketing for your business. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
It is a special episode for Hannah and I.
Yeah.
Do you want to share?
This episode marks our 1 year of having our podcast and video series. So 1 year of Showing Up Solo. Woohoo! Yeah, so we're really excited. This is going to be the last episode of 2022. But we're really excited about what's coming up next year as well.
Yeah, so when we were, kind of brainstorming of what we wanted our episode to be, we had different ideas before, but when it all came down to it, we thought, let's talk about our journey to how we got here.
Yeah, because we've been talking all year about what you need to do to set up your marketing, but we know it's a really overwhelming topic, and you might be sat there thinking, well, that's all well and good for you, Hannah and Nicole, but I don't know anything about marketing.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to let you know how we got here.
Yeah.
And hopefully that gives you a little bit of confidence when you see how, I guess, new we are to the space. So
So do you want to start or shall I?
I'll start. So I go way back. I actually grew up in the UK, and I was training to be a teacher and teach design and technology, of all things. But then I moved to Canada after university, and I ended up working in retail for 7 years. And I sold clothes, I sold shoes, and then I sold jewelry. I was really good at sales, but for anyone who's worked retail, those hours are a nightmare. So then I decided I'm gonna get myself a nice practical office job.
Yeah.
So I started working on reception at a law firm, which actually, surprisingly, reception is a lot like customer service because you're dealing with problem solving. And in the law firm especially, the firm practiced family law and personal injuries, so there was often quite stressed clients. So working with people of all different emotional levels, but also having to be incredibly organized, managing boardroom schedules and ordering catering and checking the couriers and mail are going out properly.
Schedules.
Yeah. So plus I got kind of voluntold to be on the fundraising committee for the office. So I kind of became the person in charge of getting money from everybody when it came to fundraising seasons. And I had to get really good at writing emails that people would actually open and read and then be willing to give up their hard-earned money for charity. So that was quite fun. I really enjoyed that, actually.
Yeah.
And I started a health and safety newsletter for the office.
I wish I could have read one of those newsletter editions.
Yeah, I was I had to it started off trying to make sure everyone read the health and safety manual, which was this beast of a document that was so boring. So I was trying to find a way to work it in and make it exciting, threw quizzes in there. I remember for Halloween, for my first October edition, I just switched it up and I did how would we evacuate the building if there was a zombie attack? And so I did a whole escape plan as if there were zombies attacking. Well, you'd have to factor this in, and you'd want to make sure this. And
that's
it was really
awesome.
It was actually, I think that was one of the most popular editions. Yeah. Anyway, and then I went on mat leave, and after my second mat leave with the law firm, I moved on, and I ended up being an executive assistant for the CEO of some cranberry farms, of all things.
Yeah, that's so interesting how your journey took you to that place.
I know, and you think what does a cranberry farmer need an executive assistant for? But actually, he had 2 assistants. Very busy, lots of travel to organize, which is, of course, all that travel is why I got laid off in 2020. And that kind of left me thinking, what am I going to do? I did want to get another admin role in another office and get to know another system and another bunch of people, because I knew admin, people tend to cut them out really quickly. And someone told me about being a virtual assistant, and there happened to be like the week I was laid off was the week that this course, Lindsay Page, I know that she doesn't offer the course anymore, but at the time she was a VA coach, and she was just running her course. So she very kindly let me in late. And so I did it, and I said, I'm gonna give myself until August to see if I can get a client. And I was very motivated because I needed money. Yeah. So I started luckily her course gave you all the basics of starting a business, like setting up your CRM programs and what you need to know for accounting and how to package services. Yeah. But I still had to find clients, and it touched on it, but I had to figure out really quickly, especially because I gave myself this deadline. I was I need to know that I can support us. So I had to learn really quickly. Yeah. And that's really how I got into marketing, because I had to market my VA services. And the more I learned about marketing, the better I got. I started focusing on Instagram initially. Yeah. And then people started reaching out to me saying, I've seen you on Instagram. I like what you're doing. Can you do that for me? Yeah. So I never intended to get into marketing, but then those were the jobs that I was getting asked to do. So I started offering social media management. Then I took a LinkedIn course because I was I could use LinkedIn better for marketing my business. Yeah. Suddenly, now I'm offering LinkedIn services after doing the LinkedIn course because it prepared me to do that. And then my next batch of clients were all LinkedIn clients. Yeah. And then I decided to take copywriting again to improve my own copywriting skills. And then I discovered I'm actually a pretty kick-ass copywriter. Yeah. So suddenly I'm offering copywriting services. And then within a year, I'm well, actually, this time last year, I said goodbye to most of my monthly social media management clients so I could focus on helping other business owners do what I did, but a lot quicker and get to know their marketing. So it's a bit of a whirlwind tour, but you can do this stuff. Yeah. And you don't have to have decades of experience under your belt. You'll see the experience comes in, my retail sales experience comes in all the time. Yeah. My reception service, my work on reception comes in all the time. Yeah. It all factors in.
Your retail management experience comes in a lot too, in terms of managing projects and organizing and those kind of things, right?
Yeah. Both my time on reception and my time as a store manager. Yeah. Because I did make it to store manager for one of those retail jobs, and both of those they definitely come into play. Just coordinating things. Yeah.
So most people think that their journey to having an online business is linear. You go to school, you start a business, and then you're there. But for you and I, it both was our lives have gone in every different direction, but we still ended up here.
Yeah, I was actually always interested in marketing. Yeah. I always kind of wanted to move into it, but it's funny, everyone, they think very traditional marketing, you do need to go to school for that. Mm-hmm. But for online marketing, it's such a new field. Yeah. You do need to learn. Yeah. I did take multiple courses. I think I've taken 4 or 5 to get to where I am, but you can learn a lot of it because it's ever evolving. Yeah. So you need to be continually learning. Yeah. Yeah.
The other fear I also had about starting my own business was that I thought I was too old. I thought I wasn't a 25-year-old, 20-year-old who's really up and understanding how to use all the tools and everything about Instagram. So no one's gonna want to follow my account.
I got my first Instagram account on my youngest daughter's first birthday. So 2019, I got my first account, and all the pictures were babies, pictures of my kids, and pictures of cakes I made, because that's what I thought Instagram was for. Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally a quote or something. Yeah. But I had no idea what went into how to use it as a marketing platform until I had to use it as a marketing platform. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's my story. What about yours, Nicole?
Mine is so different than yours. So I started with a social work background. So I went to university after school for my bachelor in social work, and I became a drug and alcohol counselor for middle school students. And I did that for a number of years. I worked for a lovely agency that, like, I loved my coworkers and I loved the people I worked with and the kids that I served. And then my husband approached me one day and said, "Hey, what's your thoughts about moving to a new city?" And actually, that's when we moved to Vancouver. And that was great. It was a new beginning. I was pretty sad leaving my job because I loved everyone there. But I went into another school and I started mental health support with high school students. And so I did that, and then I got pregnant with my first kid, with my first daughter. And upon returning, it was like, okay, travel's too far. I need to be closer. So then I found another job doing insurance adjusting for accident benefits.
It's funny because we were probably on, like, I was working for a law firm on the other side, and we may have even like interacted without knowing it.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I actually really liked that job because it taught me a lot of different things about time management and project management, and even like even though I was working with different kind of agencies as a counselor, doing accident adjusting, it was like I was talking all the time on phone calls. So that taught me a lot. But then we had our last child, and we moved again, and COVID hit, and we moved to another city, and it was like, okay, I'm now 36, or I was 35 at the time. I don't want to start another new job. I don't want to start at the beginning of somebody's company, and I have 2 kids. I want freedom, but I don't know what to do. And I was also going through some burnout with being a mental health and addictions counselor. And it wasn't the clients. I actually love all the clients that I worked with. It was the adults. Like, I was just, I couldn't. I was in a really hard atmosphere, and so I needed a break. And so Lindsay Page, who I am also lucky to have like a family connection to. She had her VA coaching, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, this VA coaching, like, this looks really cool. I always was interested in marketing in high school, and I started looking into it more, and then I talked to my husband and was like, what do you think about this? I could start my own business. I've always wanted to have my own business. We can choose my hours. I can have my availability to the kids.
Yeah.
And then I took her course, and it was awesome, like you said.
Yeah.
But then after, I had that same feeling that I had right after university. Oh shit. I have all this education. I have this course that I've learned about things, but now what do I do? Now I need to be an adult. Now I need to now I have to progress forward.
Yeah.
And
I have to do something with all this knowledge. Yeah.
So luckily, that's where you and I met, because we both taken Lindsay's course.
Yeah, and she had a membership at the time, so we were in the membership, and I at that point, this was just finishing taking my copywriting course, so suddenly I had copywriting clients, I had LinkedIn clients, suddenly I was having a lot of business, too much for me to handle. So I actually put a little job feeler out there saying, would anyone be willing to come on as my VA?
Yeah. Insert me.
Insert Nicole. And Nicole just became indispensable, really. I don't think it took you very long to go from working for me to working with me.
Well, I think, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but I know for me, you were the person that I needed in my life, because when you work in an office, you love having that connection and relationship with someone, right? And working on your own, in your own business, it can be really lonely. And so you and I had we were talking to each other almost every day, and we were bouncing ideas off of each other, and we would joke with each other. We were both moms, and we were, we had similar experiences with our kids. And, something would happen with my kids, and I would share it with you, and you give me advice. So
exactly.
It was just.
Yeah. And it what ended up happening is then Showing Up Solo happened because we were doing our marketing for our own businesses. And then of course, Instagram decided they wanted video.
Yeah.
So we started naturally wanting to go on lives and do videos with each other because we were in the same niche. It was easy, and we made content for both our accounts in one go.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about maybe we could do this regularly, and then Showing Up Solo kind of evolved from that. And then it didn't just evolve into this series, but also into us working together.
Yeah.
Still having our own businesses, but working together on projects with other clients so we could do bigger projects.
Yeah.
So we could help clients start from scratch and write their web copy, set up their email sequences, do their social media, create evergreen content banks.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the great things that I love about our relationship is that we have been through our own challenges personally and professionally.
Yeah.
That we are all also very keen on trying to problem solve, that we solutions that we can share with people.
Exactly.
That are very applicable to other people's situations as well. We don't want to just get better. We want to help other business owners get better and make their lives easier.
I think also just meeting each other with still very different backgrounds, but the same kind of series of events, I want to say, that led us to where we are.
Yeah.
We realized that we are definitely not alone. There are so many people out there like us.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to help people. We love being self-employed.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to help more people get there.
Yeah.
And faster, and feel like they can have the confidence, because you can totally do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go get a degree in any of this. Sure, if you want to, it'll help, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
You can start from very little knowledge and learn it quickly and implement it. And we just want to help streamline that and save the time.
The biggest thing that I've learned for myself is if you want something, you're able to get it. You just have to put in some work, and you also have to be willing to ask for help.
Yes.
You don't want to do things on your own. I mean, you can, but the more help and the more connections you have, the easier it gets, especially when you go through those really difficult times where you're going through imposter syndrome and you're what the heck am I doing?
Yeah.
Maybe this was the worst decision in my life. And then you have someone to reach out to you, and they're no, you're actually a good copywriter, and you should be doing this job. So
yeah, definitely. And I think even just having the accountability factor, right? Someone there to remind you what you got into. You and I are classic. We're always reminding each other when someone's when one of us is trying to take on too much, right before a school holiday. I'm hey, remember, your kids are gonna be off school. Yeah, it's okay to say no right now. And
remember, we talked about this, and this is what we agreed upon. And you need someone to kind of call you out. Yeah. Yeah.
So we highly recommend getting the accountability buddy if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're happy to be your accountability buddies too.
Yeah. Join memberships. I know sometimes you kind of look at things and you're I don't know how I feel about putting myself out there and meeting new people online, because there's always that fear of being taken advantage. But there are some really great people online. Yeah.
Well, so we met because of a course and a membership.
Yeah.
Our podcast manager, the amazing Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
We met her through a course and a membership.
Yeah.
These connections are so valuable. And especially when you're on an online business where you're not going into an office, these are your colleagues.
Yeah.
These are the people, these are your office buddies.
Yeah.
And you can have that real community feeling.
Yeah.
without needing to like see everyone in person all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you get those like opportunities to see them in person, it just like, you feel like you've known them forever because you kind of have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little of our backstory, not just to talk about ourselves, but just so you know that if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Basically. And that you probably know a lot more than you think you do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You definitely know a lot more about your skills and even your knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much of your past experience that is so applicable, because at the end of the day, marketing is just connecting with people.
Yeah.
And we do that all the time.
Yeah.
If you can carry on a conversation with someone, if you can make a new friendship,
Yeah.
you can do marketing.
If you can problem solve, if you can find the root of an issue and find a solution, you can do marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we like to help a lot of service providers, being service providers ourselves. And I like to think like no one becomes a service provider if they don't like helping people.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
Yeah.
Because being a service provider is helping people.
Yeah.
It would be like becoming a peanut butter taster if you're allergic to peanuts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, right? I know, me and my food analogies.
I love your food. I love your analogies.
As a service provider, you're used to serving people, to helping people.
Yeah.
And marketing is really just helping people find that help. So,
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for joining us for another episode. Our number one.
Yeah.
Our one
year.
anniversary.
I know. I can't believe we've been doing this for a year now, and I'm looking forward to another year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, thank you for sticking with us all year, and we'll see you in 2023.
Bye.
Bye. Enjoyed this episode? Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future ones. Want more from Hannah and Nicole? Visit showingupsolo.com to join the Showing Up Solo membership or to inquire about working with us on your business.